So the new starter decks in set 12 have introduced a lot of new deck building opportunities, and while Yamato has a decent amount of promise with some of the new cards, I have had this kind of like pet deck, kind of like, you know, passion project of just a Wano only Yamato build for a while. And these new cards are kind of exactly what I was hoping for in some regard, being a new like mid-range option with this Momo being so good for the deck, giving us another 2K option that also has the ability to be aggression, right? Being that he's another free trigger body with the Kinemon. The Izo is a searchable Onami, right? And Ashura Doji is like a perfect removal piece for early game if they're putting up a blocker, or even like a Sanji Pudding or something like that, just something really annoying to get rid of. Perfect piece for that. But before we get into this, hope you're all doing well, enjoying set 11 and all these starter decks, and looking forward to set 12. There's a ton in the One Piece TCG right now to get into. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're looking forward to all this new content. And before we get into this, if you want to support my channel and pick up some dope playmats in the same time, you can check out Nen Garden and use coupon code StrawHatPecan for 5% off on top of their sales that they're running right now. As you can see, a lot of their site is on sale, running some summer sales, right? I've had the Whole Cake Island playmat for a while, and it's super, super nice. So check it out in the description. And let's get into this. If you are somebody newer to the game, not familiar with Yamato, 4 life, green and yellow, 5k power from set 6. I played Yamato a lot in set 6. We've got double attack and active main. Once per turn, if your opponent has 3 or less life, you can attach 2 Rested Dawn to one of your characters. Really nice form of aggression, obviously, being able to utilize 2 Rested Dawn to swing a little higher with one of your characters, or now get some added bonus of getting like a blocker or something with some of these newer cards. Yamato was never like super meta, but always a fun deck to take to locals, and I think a lot of people like myself are very passionate about this deck. And like I've said many times, I'm rewatching the series with my fiance, and we're in Wano now, so what a better time to, right? Getting into it, I'll briefly go over some of the older cards and really just focus on the newer ones. Mainly just one card, the Momo. He's the most intricate card, right? We got the Hiyori, which places herself into the trash. You can play one 5 cost or lower land of Wano other than Hiyori, then draw a card. I'll always like this combo, and I'll go over the next card now, of this Hiyori into this Momonosuke blocker, because he is a 5/6 no counter. On play, place one of your Land of Wano type characters other than Momonosuke on the top or bottom of your life, face up, right? So essentially you can heal for 4 Dawn, because you use this 4 Dawn character to play out this. Best case scenario, I find, especially with this build, using the 2-cost Hiyori to stack your deck with a trigger body like Kikunojo on the top of your life, so your opponent swings into your life, and then, you know, you get a free body, and then you can use that 4 Dawn play of Hiyori into the Momo to heal the Hiyori to like your bottom life, right? So that way your top life is still stacked with that free trigger body, and then you get a 2k counter back to your hand. Very nice. Now again, before I get too ahead of myself, this Wano only build is just a meme deck that I really like, and I'm happy that we got new support for. I'm not saying that this is the best Yamato build. I'll go over other options and other builds at the end of the video, or, you know, whenever. We'll look at some other lists too, because I'm just excited to try out multiple forms of this deck. But yeah, if you're looking to just build Wano only, temper your expectations. Even with this new support, it's fun, but it's not the best version as it could be. Obviously, Hodie Jones is gonna be like a 4 of in the deck. I would find space for that for sure. But yeah, this has just been like a kind of meme challenge build, just a fun little thing I've been doing. Our first 2K is Izo, 3 Dawn to rest of 4 cost. We got Momo Searcher, 1 Dawn rest himself. Search top 5 for Land of Wano. It's good because he is one of these searchers that can find himself, so you can search out the heal Momono off of this one. Before, we were running the Otama 2k counter that looked for green Land of Wano only, with the starter deck being mostly yellow. Pretty much like all of it was yellow. We had like the green Ace 2k counter from Odyssey, which was, you know, I was kind of surprised he was in the deck, but you know, Otama would just whiff way too many times. And we got a new 1-cost searcher anyway. I got 2 Inarashi, Duke Dogstorm, just a free body out of life. He's a Don ×2. When attacking, discard a card from your hand. KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost equal or less to your opponent's life. You're not going to get a ton of value off of this because you have double attack, right? So your opponent, you want them to be at like 3 or less life for a lot of these effects anyway. So that's why Ashura Doji is probably just a better body. Honestly, like the Denjiro that comes out of the starter deck as well, like the 5/6, probably better. He's a brick though, and we don't really have a way to get rid of bricks, but you know, he does come out of life freely too. So I kind of want to try him. We'll just see how it goes. It's a very small minor detail. Because he's a 5/6, so a little bit higher of a body, and then also Don ×2. He can't get KO by effects if your opponent has 3 or less life, which is nice. Obviously, with no 0-cost event or way to really cycle, I wouldn't stack this deck with too many bricks, but you know, a 5/6 out of life for free is really nice. And you can also play it off of Hiyori, right? We got Kikunojo, 4/6, no counter on KO if your opponent has 3 or less life. You heal 1. This is like your best body to get out of life because it's that 6k stat line that they don't want to get rid of. Similar to this, where they can't get rid of them with effects, which is very nice. But even when Kikunojo's rested, your opponent most likely won't want to swing into her because then you get to heal. And the amount of times that my opponent has had to swing at the Kikunojo because I just had too much pressure on the board, and then I heal a life, and then they hit my life, and then that card that I healed from the Kikunojo was another Kikunojo. It's not a lot, but it's weird that it happened, I think, twice, right? It has happened. We got the Hiyori that, like I said, is a 2k counter, 2 Don. On play, take the top or bottom card from your life to your hand, and you can place 1 card from your hand at the top of your life. Really nice just to stack a trigger body and then heal the Hiyori with the Momo to life so you get that 2k back. We got the Denjiro. We got Nekomamushi, a 4/5, 1 Don ×2. You can attack active characters. Really nice to get rid of like a blocker or something your opponent just played, like maybe like a Zoro, the ramp one, if you're lucky and get this out of your like life. Because it going against blue-purple Luffy, right? He starts at 3 life, so you can always just get these free bodies out, which is nice. And even though they're a 5k stat line, technically with your leader ability becomes a 7k swing. Ashura Doji, the 3-cost, 3k power, but again with your leader ability becomes a 5k swing, but 1k counter on play if your leader has Land of Wano and your opponent has 3 or more life. You can KO a character within a base cost of 5 or less. Very nice to play out early, but again, you're going to be swinging double attack, so unless your opponent's a 5 life leader, then if they take 1 double attack, you can't use his effect. But then again, at least he has counter, and situationally still very good card. Even in a non-Land of Wano only build, I'd still consider running this because of the fact that it KOs a base cost of 5 or less, meaning with the Sanji Pudding, even if they buff the cost of that character to 7, this would still KO it. So really nice. We got our Izo that on play gives your Land of Wano type leader banish, and then Don ×2 becomes a blocker. Very nice. We got our Kinemon, 2k counter, plays out of life for free if your opponent has 3 or less. And then we got the Momo, the new card that is very exciting. He's a 6/7, no counter. Your turn, if you have 2 or less life, your leader gets 1k power. Off of the bat, that's really good value, Just getting a free 1k power, like free 1 Don, essentially. Activate main once per turn. You may return a total of 2 of your currently given Don cards to your cost area, rested. This character gains rush and 1000 power. So it becomes a 6/8 rush. It's activate main, which is really good against Blackbeard. And then you essentially get to attach 2 Don to one of your characters or leader, I assume. I didn't look up the exact ruling on this card, but your given Don is your attached Don. So you can swing 7k with 2 Don attached to leader or character, and then put that back with Momo's ability. Momo gains rush and 1k power, and then you can use your leader ability to then attach those 2 rested Don that you put to your rested area to one of your characters. So you essentially could like swing 7k with leader and then play out Momo, and then swing 10k rush, which is really good because he gets 1k power, and then if you give him the 2 rested Dawn, you know, it can be a little awkward shuffling around the Dawn, but you know, as long as you have 2 Dawn to give to a character, or like as long as you're on 8 Dawn, essentially, you can swing with 2 Dawn attached to something and then put it back, and then put that Dawn back on Momo and swing 10k rush, which is really nice. And then we've got our new Yamato Searcher. 1 costs 0 power, 1k counter. Dawn times 2, your turn, this character gets plus 3000 power, meaning it gets 2k power from the 2 Dawn and then 3k power, so it becomes a 5k power swing for 1 Dawn, and it's a Searcher because it looks at top 5 for Land of Wano with a cost of 2 or more. So you can search out other Yamatos with this card as long as it's cost 2 or more. So you can search out like the 9 cost Yamato, right? If you're going to run this. I have run this card in other builds. Actually, I really like this card against things like Anel, you know, but for this purpose, I wanted to make a very kind of like aggression build, just kind of maxing out on our free bodies that we can play out a life, some removal, the rush, you know, and then we always have that backup to keep healing, right? With only 4-5 Dawn is pretty nice. Again, this isn't the best list. If I was going to make a more competitive list, I would still probably go the route of a more good slash type archetype going off of like the Mihawk 2k counter. You know, I would probably put, the set 12. I'd probably put in this as one of our 2k counters. I'd probably put in Hawkins, you know, because he's a body that you can play off of the Mihawk that, again, they don't want to really get rid of. Definitely Hodie Jones. Honestly, something like this kind of fits in Hodie and just the theme still super well, right? Just Hodie as a 4 of and cutting one of our, you know, the Dendro and then a couple of Ashra. Honestly, I think this is a fine upgrade, right? It's nothing in depth, right? I think what I want to really look at is some of the new Supernova stuff with the new Bonnie starter deck. Something like this I think has some potential too, just because it allows you to get more Dawn efficiency out of some of your turns. Because one, it's a Searcher. You can find Supernova things like Kid. You can even find the Yellow Kid too. And then there's more counter events that you can use out of, and in set 12, right? Yeah, stuff like Flame Split, where it's a counter event for 1 Dawn that you would be able to get back with that Supernova, you know, the Searcher, right, from the Bonnie deck. So some interesting potential for sure. So if I was going to make a more in-depth list, I would want to try out more of the Supernova cards. But yeah, if you're just looking to slot in Hodie and want to keep a very general Wano theme, I'd say something like this probably works fine. I kind of want to try out a list like this, and then also just the Wano only, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to try out the Wano only for the most part. But yeah, with Hodie, something like that is fine and still keeps the general feel of the deck. Yeah, but yeah, let's get into some games. We got Shanks. Let's go first. Let's see. You know, I just want to test out this Momo, so I kind of want to just keep it. I haven't had time to. I haven't really tested any of these art decks. You know, they just came out. Let's go 8. You can get out of a 7 possibly. Oh, he takes. Interesting. Took it quick too. Hopefully we get a free body. Of course not, but you know, Momo heal is also really nice. We can go 8, and then Hiyori to put a trigger body into top life, and then at least he has to counter out on top of the blocker. Okay, 2k. Let's go Hiyori. I often like to take the bottom life because if it was a like Hikinojo or a trigger body, obviously you want that at the top anyway. So like the likelihood of it being either top or bottom that you take an already trigger body is like the same, right? But if my last life was a Kikinojo, no counter, obviously I'd like to not have that as the last life, but it's the top life, so you can take it from the bottom, then put it at the top, then you're, you know, happier. I almost countered out of that 6k because it's very tempting to do, but we building snakes in a lucky root. Okay. This is an original power. So, I mean, I can kind of tempt him by Momo heal the Hiyori. Let's do that. So maybe he wants to get rid of my blocker or something like that. I should have put that to the bottom. I don't know. We'll swing into this blocker here to get a 2k or a leader ability 1k. Or he blocks out. Fair. Okay, yeah, so that's fair enough. Got rid of my Momo. And then blocks for 1k. Not bad. Next turn we can use this Momo with leader ability and that Momo, right? Even if this Nekomamushi gets KO'd. To get some good aggression. We'll counter one. It's Rayleigh, yep. We got another Momo. So I can go 7, 8. He takes, and then we can go. I could have, no, I was at 3 life, yeah. And then we can go 10. So that might be a block. It'd be nice to get rid of the block, but he's already at 1 life, so the double attack from leader wouldn't even really matter. You know, this Momo is probably just going to get eaten up by the building stake next turn anyway. But we're still fairly healthy. Yep. So we can just swing into that for free. This is where, like, definitely past the meme build, Hodie would just be like so easy, so crucial, right? Let's see. Okay, he's gonna just play the KO Shanks, I guess. Let's take. We got a free body. Perfect. Because next turn we can heal one with the 5-cost Momo. Right? Oh, that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. I was expecting. Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting with him leaving Aton open. Dendro. Let's go here. Take our last life. Of course, yeah. It's Kikanojo. Yeah, let's just put Kikanojo back. Let's go here. Put you to the bottom. And we'll probably just swing 8. Because the most I can swing is 5 with this. Probably just swing 8, I guess. I don't think I die with my current hand. A lot of 2Ks and a blocker up, even though I want to leave the blocker for going for game of following turn. Because if I can keep these 2 bodies and then... he's definitely keeping that blocker up, but... if I can get Kikanojo out, 3 bodies to attack with, we can probably just math over the blocker and everything. See what he picks up. I don't think the Shanks deck is really using the new Uta stuff, which kind of sucks. Like the Uta or like the Shanks star deck stuff, right? 6 at us. We'll counter 2. And we'll take, play out. Another Rayleigh. So yeah, you can just pop either or. But then we'll still have 1 swing that isn't affected. 3 cards in hand. What did he pick up from Uta? He picked up a building stake, so we know he has a brick in hand. We'll just take it. It doesn't matter. Okay. So we know he has a brick in hand. So 7, 9, 10. Let's go 9. Rest. Okay. All right. GG. Whew. He had 2 bricks. Okay. So I was going to swing 9 and then 9, and I could have gone 6 still with ability, Or I could just swing a little higher with this split, but yeah, Izo's still pretty good. We got, ooh, the ST Luffy, interesting. If I see a lot of these free trigger bodies, I like to mulligan, except I do have Hiyori. So we're going second. We can always put it into life. But I also kind of want to just play out with some of the other newer stuff, you know. We can search this turn, which is nice. Picks up the Rush Zoro. We'll play out our Searcher. That's a lot of 2Ks. We'll probably pick up Hiyori. And then that's it. Unfortunately, he'll be able to get the first hit off. Ooh, 2 5K swings. We'll take one and then counter out of the next one. Let's go Nekomamushi. So I could try and guarantee to hit 9, or I could go banish 7 with the possibility he doesn't have a lot of counter, or just get some cards out of his hand. Let's try it. It's a little bit weird because I'm used to Onami. You have to select who you give banish to because it can be character or leader. This is only for your leader, so just be, you know, of course, careful about that. But yeah, with a rush deck like this, I wasn't expecting him to have like too much counter, or really to want to give it up, because I know, oh, he gave us 2 2Ks, so that's pretty good. Getting 2 2Ks out. And this is something we can just heal with Momo back to life to get more banish out like a following turn. 6 at us, I'll give 2. Expecting only 1 more hit here, but yeah, again, it kind of sucked. Maybe I should have just tried to swing a little higher. 7 at us, we'll take. Okay, it wasn't a trigger body anyway. Let's see. I'll go 7 at life. Hopefully he just takes. It's not banished. Dope. Okay. Because now we can use you. What do I want to prioritize? A blocker would be good, or another searcher. Because I can attach 2 down and swing 5. I think that'd be nice. And then just heal the blocker so I can get banished again. Alright, so yeah, let's do here. Play you out. Put you to the top. Then we'll get a blocker. So 2 blockers. Because I am expecting a lot of rush. So 2 blockers out is actually not bad. I could have healed up the Izo to top life to take it back so I can banish again, but with how many swings are coming at us, 2 blockers definitely, especially because I don't really want to block with the Momo. But yeah, next turn if we can get this Momo out, that'd be really nice. Get possibly down to 1 life, who knows, or even none if he takes the double attack, which we only swing 7K with the double attack. Ooh. So 7, you can go 7, 7, 6. Let's block, because 7 is going to be the highest swing. Let's block 1. Then I can just take 1. We'll counter out of this. And then he swings 7, and we'll take that. Okay. So we'll go 7 at life. We got another brick. I could have gotten rid of... Oh, he takes that. Interesting. Okay, so we'll go effect. I could have swung a little higher. That I keep forgetting about the +1. I don't know. There's nothing really in his deck that could have KO'd this out of life, so I don't know why I was worried about that. Then we go 10, and he does take. And we'll pass. And we just have to not perish here. We have a few 1Ks, a 2K, and a blocker. He's got 3 swings. We just have to block out of 1, counter out of another if he plays a rush card, which, you know, very likely. But then also 10 cards in hand, so luckily this just gives us a free Dawn of Value. Oh, he's going for blocker KO. Ah, okay. 6 Dawn left though. We might be able to just counter out of one swing with 5k counter. Possible. He does have a lot of value with the you know, lead ability in this, right? As long as one is like a 7k. Oh, and he uses a Nami, so that's one less Dawn he can swing with. Picks up a Luffy, so that's a brick, but, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't really play that out right now. I mean, you can still get a ton of 7Ks out and some 6s, but I have enough counter to get out of that, I think. Because if he just swings a few 6s or a couple of 7s, I can get out of... As long as one of these is not a brick, we can get out of like 2 7k swings. We just need one more 1k counter. Goes 6, we'll give 2k. Okay, he still can play out that other Luffy. Goes 7. Take. Okay. It makes me nervous. It makes me nervous. We can still get out of a 7 with 3k. Or a 6, and then... Yeah, one of these is going to be a 6k, right? And then we can get out of it. Right, he already used leader ability attached to Zoro, no? Yeah. So we are able to get out of this. I think, yeah, it doesn't matter, right? Just 2 1s. I don't know if he just went higher with the other swings and didn't even bother playing this out. That probably would have been better, but... Ah, we can counter that still. Ooh, I actually was kind of worried. I probably should have taken that last hit to life, but... Yeah. Now we can go 16... And then still like 10? Yeah, GG. Woof. Oh, and it was a free trigger body too. Oh, we got Buggy. Okay, I am testing out the Hodie list. So if you see Hodie, that's why. And also, I have thought about Buggy a lot with this kind of a matchup, right? So many of our cards are like 3 and 4 costs, 4 costs. Dendro, the 5 costs, is definitely a good add to be a free trigger body, but also just something to swing with, because if he plays out the promo Buggy, you know, you're kind of screwed. So he searches after picking up a 2k Cabbagee. Honestly, we will search and then swing 7, because if he has to counter out 2 cards, that's going to really hurt his hand size, obviously. We're looking to pick up more Momos, so I'll take that and just swing 7. See if he takes. He does. Okay, fair enough. You need big hand size, obviously. But here's like, we'll just keep probably pressuring and then play out like Momo to try and finish. But we do have Hodie, so that is in this list right now. This is like the very much a similar list, just adding the Hodie, obviously, so good matchup to try it on, as you lose so much value. We'll take. No trigger body. We can still use this. We can still use this. Does he gain block? Okay. 2 more characters with the base cost of fire. So he's not a blocker right now. He's not a blocker. He's not a blocker because he doesn't have the first requirement. Okay, I'm just saying that to myself multiple. You know, I think I just want to get him down to 1 life. Or get him to burn out his entire hand. I don't know. I'm just swinging my club now. They're just swinging big club. Yamato's strategy. This is my masterclass Yamato video. Just attach all Dawn to leader if your opponent doesn't put out a blocker, and say, ooh, me swing big club and get a free Kikunojo out of life and have a great time. But now he has 11 cards and I'm really scared. But we have 2 Momos. So next turn we can start playing them out. No, we actually no. Well, we can, but it's a matter of we don't have the Dawn to like swing 7 with lead first and then take off the attached Dawn to get the most value out of it. Like, we'd have to attach the Dawn with leader ability to Momo first and then take it off of it. Hey. Actually, not that bad of a hand, if I had to say so myself, because we still have a Momo. We still have Momo. So let's go here. Swing 7. Get a couple of cards out of his hand. Nice. And then we got to do this. Boom, bam. Swing 8. Get 2 more cards out of his hand. Possibly 3. And then we have a decent amount of counter now to defend this Momo. Oh, we did get 3 cards. Perfect. So next turn we can just Hodie, do classic Yamato things. This, you know. Love this guy. Love this guy. I really didn't like his fight with Luffy in the sorry, I don't want to talk about spoilers too much. I will. I'll actually edit that out. Okay, spoiler warning. You know, with Hodie. I actually didn't like his fight with Luffy too much, but it was just because I was watching those current. So I was watching week by week, and I was like, I don't know. Compared to some of the others, like I still did like a lot of the moments in Fishman Island, like when Luffy uses his, again, spoilers, his Conqueror's Haki and takes out like what is it, like the 10,000 people or whatever in one go, like that. Oh yeah, that was hype. That was hype when he is fighting Hodie and like the Arc Note was like falling down and everything like that. Yeah, that was hype. But I don't know, overall it wasn't my favorite to be watching as current. Okay, no more spoilers now, so if you were looking to skip ahead, I'll put a timestamp. We'll counter 1 here, just don't want to, because I'm probably just going to take that life anyway with Hodie. He trashes to play out the Croc, which does so much. He gets to protect his board, but that's not what we really are going to be doing anyway. He gets to draw and then play out. So he gets to draw and trash even more with Alvida. And now, well, no, because this isn't original, a base cost. So again, he doesn't even have blocker yet. 6 at us. Again, I'll counter 2. I'll probably still just... Do I even need to play the Hodie? Do I need to play Hodie? I go 11, 12, 11, 12. No, because I can't attach the Dawn. No, I can. Yeah, because it unattaches it. Yes. So I'll go 11, 12. I think that's way better numbers than playing out Hodie because he doesn't have blocker. Because it's with a base cost of 5 or less. 5 or more. Sorry. But I have so many bricks. Oh my god, he does have enough counter. Okay, geez Louise. Okay, you got him. Wow, I was not expecting that. Okie dokie. I'll get rid of your pudding then, I guess. Don't know. Am I worried about pudding? That's kind of his only attack. Die, pudding. Okay, pass. I have like no counter because of that. Yeah, maybe I should have left up more. I don't know. I feel like 11-12 was a really good split. He had a lot in hand, obviously, but now he only has like mainly 2 attacks, 3 attacks. Yo, he buggied me. Okay. Well, I have a Hodie, so I can still win. And it's like almost tempting not for him to swing, because if I get a free body from life, it would be GG for him, right? He does swing. We'll counter out the 5 just because I don't want to die here. So he still could win if he splits properly. Please don't split properly. Okay, we got a 2K. That's like the best we could actually ask for. Yeah, so we don't die because if he attaches 4 here. Okay, we got 2 2Ks. That's perfect. Whew. All right. Oof. Okay. Okay. So we'll go Hodie, rest, boom, swing. Yeah, GG. Okay. Whew. I mean, that did get a little close. That pudding he hit me with was kind of crazy. It gave us the Hodie, but like no counter. And then he had 12k counter that one turn. Not bad. It was just unfortunate he wasn't able to get blocker for this guy. But those are some games I would play a lot more because one, I love this deck, and two, I want to test out more of the starter deck stuff. But trust me, I will play more soon with this and other Yamato builds. But the sim is just a little bit like wonky because it did just update. I want, you know, like literally today. Like I'm recording this and probably getting it out like ASAP. But yeah, it was just a little bit wonky, but again, not obviously to be expected, right? When you're dropping such a big patch, right? This was all the star deck stuff and set 12 stuff. But yeah, very cool that we finally get a very viable options for more Wano cards for Yamato. I didn't get to utilize all of them. However, we did utilize a lot of them, right? We got to play with the Ezo. That banish feels great, turning into a blocker. Doubly awesome. Didn't utilize the 5k swing from the Yamato, but I think that's a good problem to have, is we had options, you know, and just think that like making this a more competitive list is just getting a slot for Hodie, right? That's the only non-Wano card in this list, and it still felt amazing. And we still did, you know, have some success with the Wano only list. So yeah, I think these cards are really nice. I do want to make the yellow starter deck Yamato list with these, because it's a cool idea that leader, if you have 2 or less life and a Don attached, you become a 6k leader on your opponent's turn, but then this would make it so you get that buff on your turn too. So that's, you know, that's really nice. But yeah, very cool stuff. Love to see the starter deck. Shout out to Batsu for the sim and the update and everything. Very cool stuff. Can't wait to play these set 12 things. Let me know what starter deck you want to see next. I'll probably go through a lot of them because I'm just very excited. I said it before, but I wasn't like super like excited about set 11 stuff. I liked a few of the leaders, but it ended up being like just a blue purple Luffy type of meta, and then like whatever deck techs into that. But the starter decks I was always looking forward to, because I knew it was going to shake up stuff just a little bit, especially for a local scene, you know. So I'm very excited. I'll probably be taking like a Yamato list kind of similar to this, but maybe with some tweaks to a locals very soon. I'm very hyped. I'm very hyped. But yeah, let me know what you think about the starter decks. Which ones did you guys end up picking up? What leaders are you looking forward to building now with all of this out? And yeah, what are you looking forward to in set 12 too? It's so much, like I said, going on in the One Piece TCG now, so I'm having a lot of fun. Remember to have fun with the game. It's just a card game at the end of the day, and we should have fun with it, you know. Don't know, just a little side note. But yeah, have fun with things. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy all these new leaders, these new cards. We have so much new content. So yeah, just really have some fun. Yeah, hope to see you all in our next one. Bye-bye.